Welcome in, guys, to another exciting episode of Pete versus Anxiety here on the Oracle Talk Radio Network. My guest today is going to be Shawn. I had to do a little mix up on the schedule, but it's okay. Before we get started today, I wanted to bring a little cause to action for you all. I've joined forces with a group called Podcast for Prevention, guys. You'll see the link running across the bottom of my screen right now. I'll have the link put up with this video as well for y'all. But basically what it is, they feel like, we need to bring more awareness to mental health. So why not? Mental health podcast, why not join forces with them? You know what I'm saying? It's just how it works, Before we get started today, we're going to also do what we always do, guys. We got to pay tribute to the guys, Oracle Talk Radio Network, for allowing us to have this opportunity today. So we're going to start off with some other previews of some other shows here. Since, you guys enjoy Pete versus Anxiety, why not check out some of these other shows? We're going to start off with the In the Know with one of the founders, Jenny. Then we're going to move into Chasing Prophecy, Bookish, Mystic Whispers, then the Nerd Informer, and the Stay Off the Lawn. And my guest is here. We got him in the back scene a little bit here. I'm just going to run these commercials really quick for the other shows, give them a little love, because, hey, if it wasn't for Oracle, none of us would be here. So let's start off with In the Know, and then when we get through them all, I will bring in the guest during the last one, which is Stay Off My Lawn. Okay, guys? Enjoy.
In the Know with Jenny Nicasio, your home for pop culture and trending topics from all over the United States. All with commentary from your favorite host, Jenny Nicasio. Tune in Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern, only on the Oracle Talk Radio Network. The Chasing Prophecy radio show, where we discuss everything and anything beyond the scope of normal. Hosted by Jenny Nicasio and Tom Conway, Chasing Prophecy is your premier destination for all things paranormal. Tune in Thursdays at 8 p.m., only on the Oracle Talk Radio Network. Bookish Podcast, hosted by Emma Saylor, is a unique look at all things literature and is your radio book club. Read along as Emma takes us through discussions of her books of the month, and you can chime in and give your feedback as well. Tune in Tuesdays at 3:30 p.m., only on the Oracle Talk Radio Network. The Mystic Whispers Podcast, hosted by the psychic seer herself, Nicole Gaspard. Each week, Nicole shares her experiences and views, as well as interviews guests. Tune in Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, only on the Oracle Talk Radio Network. The Nerd Informer Podcast, hosted by Ian Harrelling and Tyler Johnson. An informative look at the world around us and expert discussions on some of the world's greatest mysteries. Tune in Wednesdays at 7 p.m., only on the Oracle Talk Radio Network.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Richard. And together, we are the Stay Off My Lawn Show and Podcast.
And together we tackle the important political issues from the week.
We'll also have smart and maybe not so smart audio clips from our elected officials.
And have way too much fun in the process.
So tune in to Stay Off My Lawn every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern.
Right here on the Oracle Talk Radio Network.
Guys, welcome in my guest today, Shawn. Shawn, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm all right.
Awesome. And he said you're joining us from Missouri, correct?
Correct.
All right, brother. Well, the show is yours. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Shawn. I'm from Missouri, and I'm just a down-to-earth person, willing to help anybody and that I can, and I love the outdoors.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. It's great that you're always willing to help people. Shawn, why don't you tell them about your little symbol thing you showed me the other day on your the other account you have, man? I thought that was really cool. I think people should know about it.
Stigma. A lot of people think that anxiety and depression and PTSD is just in your head. They got a stigmatism on it saying that it can be overlooked. You choose it. You choose to live your life that way. And that's not the case. Depression and anxiety, it's real. It's a real mental illness. And it's people just overlook how severe it really is. and be able to reach out and make people aware of it is key.
Yeah, great, true, man. Very true. And that's the thing. That's the whole reason this podcast even started, man. Is I deal with depression, anxiety now. And like you said, people don't uh believe that. It's a lot of times they just say, "Oh, you're sad," or it's more than just that. It goes way more into that. And anxiety and manifests in each one of us in different ways. Like, mine gets really bad. I'm sure yours is probably different than mine, but we all deal with the same thing. And it's great that people come up all these little catch videos. Oh, it's Men's Mental Health Month. But after that, where's the conversation end? Right there at those videos. They don't talk about it anymore. Like, oh yeah, that was just a video I made, and it drives me insane. But when I saw your Sigma, I was like, damn, that is awesome. I like exactly what he's saying, because that's just completely true. It's just not enough people talk about these things. And that's why this is a great place for you guys like yourself and everyone else to come on and talk about, their what they deal with on a daily basis, so people can see it's a real thing, including PTSD, which is insane if you think about it, because it goes really strong with a lot of the military guys. My week one guest Teddy had actually talked about it, and he was describing how it happened, and how the military basically just overlooked everything as he got out. They had done a psychological test on him, and they said that basically he was okay and fit to work, because they wanted to still be able to use him in duty or whatever. But really, he wasn't. And Teddy was the one that had to bring the action to himself. It's like, hey, yo, oh, guys, something's wrong here.
Yeah.
Definitely, man. So, Shawn, why don't you tell a little bit about your story about yourself, by people? What else do you want to tell everybody about?
Well, I guess my story begins with when I was young, little. Um, it started, and it'll make more sense as I tell my story. Um, I just growing up, I never felt right. I always felt out of place, and I always felt like I was a loner, that I had no friends, that I was unwanted. I mean, from a very young age. And in 2001, my mom ran off, disappeared, and was gone until she left in 2001, and wasn't seen or heard from her again until 2018.
Yeah.
So I blame a lot of that. I mean, some of the last words I said to my mom was, "I hate you and I never want to see you again." And then she just disappeared. So I put a lot of that weight and burden on myself. And I it it just it
It hurt you in the end.
overran me.
Yeah, I believe that, man. I could believe that completely.
And so, I mean, I was still in high school, and I turned to drugs and alcohol. I did graduate high school, but it was partying every night. I was going to school under the influence. I mean, anything to kill the pain.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it until here just a few months ago that I'd been battling with depression and stuff back then. And it didn't click on me that I was using substance to kill the pain. And I mean, that went on for years, clear up until 2009. And finally in 2009, I met my soon to be ex-wife, and she pulled me out of a dark space.
That's awesome, man.
And uh I've been clean and sober since November of 2009.
Well, that's awesome, man. That's fantastic to hear.
Um, but about 4 years ago, I started having memories from my childhood, and I just thought they were made up. I buried them. I didn't think about it, and then things went on, and more memories was coming back, and I shut down. I, that's the reason why I'm going through divorces, because I shut down and pushed everybody out of my life. I secluded myself. I wasn't the same person. I get up, I go to work, and come home, and I bury myself in my phone.
Yeah.
And I I wasn't. I was in such a low spot that I wasn't even the father I should have been to my son. And over the past year, that's changed.
That's great, man.
But as I said, about 4 years ago, these memories started coming back, and this is only a handful of people know about this, and it's
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 hard,
really
man.
hard.
It
It's
is. It's
really
really
hard for
hard.
me. But somebody very, very close to me growing up abused me,
Yeah.
and I blocked all those memories out, and then when they all came back, I shut down. And it and when it really first came, I mean, I really felt like everything was falling into place, that I knew I had mental issues and depression, anxiety, was January this year, when my wife told me that she was leaving me. And it it's been a rough road. Um, I'm not gonna lie. I've tried several times to end my life, but it just always been somebody there to step up
Yeah.
and reach out and make sure I was okay. And about 3 weeks ago, I came across the live on TikTok, and there just something told me that I was needed not to do it. And I can't give enough. I can't ever repay her for her live popping on my For You page
Yeah.
that night. And I felt like I have a place now that I can trust people, and that are there for me if I need them.
Yeah.
And
Definitely, man.
that's what we all need in this life, is somebody to stand up and be there for us.
It's very true, man. It's very true. Um, Bree, by the way, she said you're doing amazing, buddy. She said she loves you.
Thank you. Love you too.
Say, man, I told you, everybody's here to support you, brother. It's like I said, I agree with you, man. Like that's awesome that you came across her live and everything like that, and all that stuff. And guys, she'll be live later with me at 3 p.m. and you'll get to hear more about herself. But anyways, back to you. You know, it's crazy, man. Like that touched. I felt that a little bit when you started saying all that, because I've been there. I've been at that edge of the road, man. And one person saved me from that too, and it was like I don't even talk to that person anymore. Um, but it's in my own reasons. I didn't discover my own problems until recently. My wife I met now has caused me to want to change the way I look at things, and I needed help, and I didn't know it. I knew I needed help for a while. It's just getting that help is the hardest part. It's like you got to tell yourself, just to do it, and then when you say you're going to do it, then you actually have to do it. And that was the thing. She's the reason that I'm still sitting here now, is because at that point everything just self destructed on me and everything like that. So I understand that completely, man. And I'm glad to hear that you're sober, man. I know that's so hard to get through and all that kind of stuff, man. It's rough. I'm pretty sure it is for you, man. And for you to come on here and share that with everybody, that's amazing. It really is.
Yeah, I just want people to know. I mean, I didn't know for a long time that I dealt with it. I knew something wasn't right. And I knew
Yeah.
something, something was wrong. Um, and the little county I live in has the highest suicide rate in the state of Missouri.
Wait. You said your county has the highest?
Highest suicide rate.
That's insane. Do you know what the age range is on that, or?
Um, anywhere from 15 years old all the way up until 70, 80-year olds.
The reason I ask you that, Sean, is because I did an episode on men's mental health, my old podcast, and I was looking at some of the statistics, buddy. And the people in my age range, which I'm in the 30 to 50 range, are the highest amount of suicide rate besides someone in like 70. So, like, most logical range in there would be, right where we're at, where I'm at now, dude. And I think that's what's first off started this whole change for things for me, man, was just like I seen the stats and it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Um, I know from people I know 50 to 75.
Yeah, right in that range.
Yeah.
Those are the 2
And
highest amounts actually, and that was statistically what I looked at. I think that was as of I think it was 2023 somewhere. I haven't looked at any recent data, but it was a pretty high number in that range to send a shock factor down my spine. Like, I'm like, "Ooh, I don't like this feeling. Like, I don't like how I'm in that range." And, and that's
yeah.
what called to action for me, and I don't know if that's the same thing for you. Like you said, somebody saved you, and that's awesome, man, and you're here for a reason, buddy. That's why your whole stigma, breaking the stigma like I try to do, is what it is, man. Like the messages you share on that other account that you have, dude, I'm sure you're making somebody's day at that point, bro. And it, like you said, you could probably feel the same way too, honestly.
And that, if I can save one person out of 10, it's worth it.
Hmm.
I wish we could save everybody,
Yeah, I do too, man.
but and I know realistically that's not the case.
Yeah,
But if we can save that one person, it's all worth it.
it is, man. You're right. You
And
really are.
there's a, and I need to start putting this in my videos, but there's a national hotline number for crisis
Hmm.
centers, 988.
Yes, sir. And you know why they changed that number to 988? I actually learned
And
about this recently. The reason they changed it to 988, everybody, is because think about it. In the time that you need help, you're not going to sit there and dial a 1-800 number. It makes no sense. So they decided to make it so much easier for you. All you have to dial is 988, and they'll get somebody on the phone that's trained. They'll talk to you. If you feel like you're ever alone or you ever need anybody, like Sean just said, man, 988 is the number to call, guys. It's a suicide prevention hotline, and it's like I said, or, you have a friend to call or call somebody. Like I have a whole support chain of people to call. And I don't know, Sean, maybe you do too.
I do. I
You can
mean,
add me on there if you need to, buddy. I got you. Trust me. I'm always awake doing something.
I over the past 5, 6 years, I've got back in contact with my mom, and over the past 5, 6 months, I talk to her almost on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So there, and I have a couple aunts that
Yeah.
are I can depend on, but my biggest support, eh, and it's hard to believe, but my biggest support is TikTok.
Yeah. I believe it, man,
And
because you can connect a lot of people all over the world at any time, any minute on your fingertips. And that's the great thing about it, man. Somebody's always available.
uh, I just I can't thank them enough for everything, all the kind words and everything over the past few weeks. That I have interacted with them and connected with them.
You want to give everybody a shout out right now? Any names you want to mention? You go right ahead, buddy. You let them fly.
Bree is number one. Jay
Yeah, she's
Roosters,
awesome.
he he he's been there, and I appreciate him.
Thanks, Jay.
Um, Just everybody in that community.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm so glad you found somebody to help you, man. Because it only takes that one person to let you know it's your person that you've seen and things like that. I know a lot of people that say they've been on that edge. Say that that's the thing. They feel like nobody hears them, and they feel like nobody sees them. And like I say, I sign out most times on this show is that it costs nothing to be kind to somebody, guys. One kind act you can do could save somebody's life or even make their day. And what you just said right there, you said someone. Because you had people to talk to, someone, and you felt like, someone's listening to you. Really, am I not wrong when I say that?
No, you're not wrong. It's
See,
all it takes is that one person saying, "How are you?"
exactly. And that's why I say, a lot of times I tell people just reach out and call somebody. If you haven't talked to somebody forever, call them. Just see what they're up
Yeah.
to, and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's awesome, brother.
Um, Another thing I've noticed is I'm fine, I'm okay, and you ask a person how they're doing, they're saying I'm fine or I'm
Yeah.
okay. That's 90% of the time. That's not the case. You If you feel like there's something wrong with somebody, really don't dig too hard
Yeah.
that you're going to make them mad, but kind of push them to open up to you.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, from experience, a person's not going to open up unless they want to.
Yeah. That makes sense, man.
But if you keep every day, you ask them and ask them and ask them, how are you doing? How are you doing? You need anything? Eventually, they will open up.
No, I hear you, man. And like you said, you don't want to press too hard because if you feel like you're being pressured, then it's going to be like, I don't want to be bothered by you. Even though they're trying to do it out of just trying to be nice and they're trying to check in on you and then they're worried about you and stuff like that and all that. And that's great, man. Like I said, I don't think enough people just get that. It's like a lot of times when it happens, people are like, well, what could I have done differently? The smallest
Yeah.
thing you could have done could have changed their life, man. Maybe just, hey, how you doing? And things like that. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that, or they live in different stigmas and things like that. Of like they think that mental health's just nothing big, but you're proof right there. I'm proof right there. Bree's proof right there. Everybody I meet on this show is proof that there's something that needs to be talked about because there's enough demand on this show that I'm pretty much booked until April right now with people that just want to come on and do just like what you're doing, man. Just sharing your story, telling people about what they deal with on a daily basis.
Another thing with the stigma is people say, "Oh, if they're talking about it, they're not going to do it," and that's not
Mm,
true.
nope.
People that talk about it are reaching out, and it's their way of trying to ask for help. And if you ignore them, oh, they're not going to do it. People that do it don't talk about it; they just do it. That's not true.
It's not.
Um, I had a good friend growing up that talked about it, and no, he ain't gonna do it. Well, one day he wasn't at school, and it's because he took his own life.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
crazy.
don't assume. I mean, people shouldn't assume just because they talk about it they're not gonna do it. That's not the case.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. And that's why whenever I was telling you about that cause, in case all of you missed, I did make a major announcement. I have joined forces with a group called Podcast for Change, or for Podcast for Prevention. I'm sorry. It's to raise mental health awareness for people. And what he just said right there is the reason why, guys. We need to start educating the younger kids about this stuff now versus later and break these stigmas that a lot of people think that mental health isn't a real issue that we deal with on a daily basis. And all these things manifest in different ways: anxiety, depression, BPD. I could go on for days. There's a list of them. Like there's so many out there. It's insane. And then, different ways that things show up. And you amazed how a lot of these ones kind of mix in together and get mixed diagnosed, and things like that. And a lot of people said bipolar was like that too. A lot of people were just calling everything bipolar and everything else. But, a lot of times it's actually something different. So you good over there?
Yeah, I'm good.
You're doing good, buddy. Trust me. Like I said, man, it's great you're here. Like I said, I think it does it feel great to tell your story out loud to people. I'm sure you're going to change somebody's life listening to this right now, man.
And That's the whole reason why I'm doing this. Is like I said, if I can save one person, it's worth it.
Yeah, man. Like I said, it's great, brother. Like I said, and by the way, Shawn filled in at the last minute, guys. That's how much of a stand-up guy he was. He was put on the spot a little bit by me. I said, "Hey, man, are you busy? You want to jump in at 10 a.m.?" And he's here now, man. So I appreciate you coming in, dude. I really do, brother. Trust me. I think the world needs to hear more about what you're doing, especially with your stigma cause and your other account. That just hit home, bro. I was like, I saw that, and I was like, damn, I want that now.
Um, it's awareness is all it. It's all we need is make awareness.
Yeah, man, I agree. It's not like I said. I think that we need to start with the younger generation too, and teach them now that if there's something wrong, that we need to get you help now before it gets worse. Because it could be like us, take a while, cause a lot of destruction. Because I've lost a lot of friends, and a lot of family. I don't talk to a lot of people because of the things I dealt with personally and everything else, which didn't help. I had an ex that gaslighted me for 15 years and some crazy stuff. And my story is just insane, dude. Like I dealt with it for 15 years. There are kids involved, so the whole scenario of don't stay together for the kids comes out and things like that. And I tried to stay together for them, and it was bad, man. I got a real bad drinking problem at one point, and it just everything just cataclysmically just went down, just completely at once on me to the point I was right there at the edge, teetering over, looking down, and I almost jumped. And I did. And luckily, like I said, that one person saved my life. She didn't give up. She knew something was wrong. And she kept asking me every day, just like you said, I kept telling her I was fine, but I wasn't fine. I think the one that really started this whole thought process to make this podcast was I read this Robin Williams quote. He was talking about, when people tell you you're okay, but are they really okay? It's the real question. They may not be okay, is what he said, and that can't be any true, like you said, just because someone says, hey, I'm doing fine, but are they really doing fine? That's a real question. Like, are they doing fine? Probably not.
Mm. Especially if you notice a change in their behavior, they start secluding themselves, or they used to laugh and joke all the time. Now they're just quiet. I mean,
Yeah, a lot of those little signs people miss, man. That's the problem
yeah,
too. If you start noticing those kind of changes, it may be time to start asking them, are they okay? And if they say they're okay, then you might want to start thinking, maybe are they really okay? Because they
yeah,
could just be telling you that, so you leave them alone. But we really don't know what they're thinking at that time. And I think that's the scariest part of the whole thing is that, when it comes to suicide and all that kind of stuff, it's like, what more could I've done for that person? Like, sometimes you just can't help people, unfortunately. You can try, but I mean, that's just the reality of this thing too. Unfortunately, we can't save everybody, like you said, man. Even if we could just save one person, it'd be better than losing many.
yeah.
I mean, it's the worst thing of all, man. Especially when people do that, because then you're all left with the same questions of like, hey, what more could I have done? Because I've dealt with that in high school too. I had a friend, friend of ours that we knew, he killed himself, and it was horrible. Like they told us some of the details of some of the stuff, and it was just ugh. And at that time, when you're that young, we don't think nothing about it. We don't know nothing about it because no one educated us about it. I grew up in the '90s, so they didn't talk about that much. I was all about you got to be the macho man, or you got to be the you could be this, or you could be a wuss for being sensitive. And it's just like it's guys, there's nothing wrong with having emotions, man. I'm
And
sure we all. No,
I'll
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
bud. No, you got it, bud. You
I,
good?
I grew up with you didn't share your feelings
Hmm.
as a man. You buried them. You dealt with them. You went on.
Yeah, man, and that's a lot of times what they say.
Uh, and I mean, it's just been in the past 6 to 8 months that my thought process has changed on that.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. What changed it though? Was it the people on TikTok that changed it for you? Was it you reconnecting with your mom?
Um, I think it was my son
Yeah,
because this divorce and everything, and his behavior has changed. I mean, he was fun, outgoing, just full of energy, and
yeah,
he still is. But now it's the behavior side of it,
yeah, man. I know it's
the
hard with going through
acting
divorce.
out, and it's made me realize if I can't open up about my feelings and the way I think, how can I expect him to do the same?
Exactly.
So
I
I
think when Sean, not to cut you up, but I think when you get old enough, you might want to just tell him about what you were dealing with beforehand, man. Just have a real honest conversation with him. I think he, at the end of the day, will respect that even more, and
Yeah,
I'm sure he'll be happy to tell you, Dad, it's okay. And I know that'll hit home.
yeah. I've tried, I've been trying, it's okay to open up. It's okay to tell what you're feeling, how you're thinking. And
Yeah,
so,
that's awesome, man. That's awesome. You're teaching him those values, and like Jimmy says right here, he said the problem with us as men, is we're taught not to cry because no one cares, man. Listen, man, we all have emotions. It's okay to cry.
yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't make you any less of a man, dude. It just makes you human at the end of the day. Thanks, Jimmy. I appreciate those words, man. There's nothing more true than what you just said right there. And exactly, Sean's teaching his son. It's okay to show your emotion. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Ain't gonna make you less of a man. It makes you an actual person.
yeah. And my thought process on it now is it actually makes you more of a man because you're willing to open up and express how you feel and communicate. And
Yeah. No, I agree, man. That's awesome. It really is. And with divorce too, it's hard, man, because it's like, when my parents got divorced, it was ugly, bro. They were just ugh. They were at each other's throat the whole time. Like they're ready just to go to war anytime. And it was, well, your dad's an evil person. Your mom's an evil person. And it's just like you're having the back and forth. And hopefully that's not what you guys are doing.
oh no, no.
God, thank God.
Um,
Thank God, man.
when our son's around, we don't fight, we don't
That's
argue, we
awesome.
don't, he don't see that side of it.
Yeah. And I
But
could commend you both, man. I commend you both for not doing that because it really hurts, man. And it's rough for kids to see that because then they have to deal with that and they take that emotion and they can read that emotion in the room. So if you guys like are arguing and they walk in, you stop and they look at you, they probably can tell what's going on more than
yeah,
you think.
I mean, has he seen that side of it over the past 8-10 months? Yes.
Okay. I mean,
But
we're all human, man. At the end of the day, just keep that in mind.
but our main focus is if he's around, we're civil.
And listen,
That
man,
the
I can tell
arguing
you
and
that.
fighting and it can be done at a later time.
Yeah. I wish my parents used the same philosophy, man, because I'd always see them argue and it get ugly arguing. They scream and yell at each other, and I started adapting that a little bit myself as I got older because I have 4 daughters of my own. Three of them don't live with me, and one of them was adopted, but that's another time for another story for that whole scenario. But I started presenting those traits my dad would do. Sean, he would like yell, and I would yell a lot too. And I didn't realize that a lot of it had to do with when I was 10 years old. My mom had abandoned me. She had left me at my dad's doorstep and just took off. And I don't think ever since then I've ever forgiven her. And I don't know if I can at this point, man. It's going to be something I battle with every day that I decide whether or not I want to call and forgive her. I don't know if I ever will. I mean, my wife tries to get me to, says that I should. And I'm just like, I battle with it every day, man. And I know you'd understand since you've been in that situation before.
I have a relationship with my mom,
Yeah.
but have I forgiven her for the things she's done and for leaving? It's over. No, I don't know if I can forgive her,
Yeah.
and I know I'm supposed to. I know God tells us to forgive,
Yeah.
but the trauma and stuff that I went through, it's just hard.
Yeah, let me ask you about that a little bit though. Okay, so when she left, did you have any like issues of like you guys just get angry for no reason or you just, kind of things like that came from that whole scenario?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
I still, to this day, I still battle with anger,
Yeah. Me too, man.
and just the littlest thing, somebody saying the wrong thing can trigger that anger. And I've learned how to address it, by walking away or, ignoring the situation.
Yeah.
But right after she left, I I was in fights every day. I mean, in school, I was in the principal's office for fighting, or it just anger just took over.
Yeah. Yeah, mine didn't manifest until later on, man. Like mine was more when I started having kids and stuff like that. And it was like a lot of my rage could come out then. Like the littlest thing would just set me off. And I get so mad. Like I'd start yelling like my dad did. And I did talk to somebody on my audio side of my podcast, a woman that specialized in children, and she was telling me that a lot of times the kids mimic the things they see, and that right there was proof alone, because my dad would yell a lot when we were kids, and I'm talking like yell, scream, do all these things. Him and mom would get in these screaming matches, and that's what I was doing to them. And I didn't see that, because when I went into rage, I don't know if you had experienced this too, but I go into, like, I go see red, as they like to say, and I didn't see it for what it was. And those poor kids, man, dealt with so much all these
Yep.
years, and they they honestly don't even want to talk to me right now, and it's my own fault, honestly. I should have gotten help sooner, but I'm working on bridging the gap back to that. It's like eventually one day I'll sit down and talk to them about it when they're old enough, and let them know, because they're still younger. A lot of them are just now hitting 15 is my oldest, and and things like that, and it's hard, man. It's really hard, because like I didn't see these for what they were, and my ex wasn't helping either. She and her would argue all the time in front of the kids, and we scream and yell, and then we take into account that I was streaking a hell of a lot, and then I was going online and playing some friends online, and I just was toxic as ever. Like, I am not the same person I was 10 years ago, at least. And it was ugly, man. Like, had you met me 10 years ago, you'd be like, what a fucking assholes. Literally what you would have called me, bro. Literally what you would have said in less 4 words or less. Because the things I would say to people were that horrible, and it's just like, I still work on it now. I do get a little amped up when I play games now. So I have to constantly, remember that, it's a game. And it's hard sometimes. I do get a lot of hand, and my wife gets on my case about it. Like, she really gets on my case when I get on there and I start harping on people and stuff like that. So I'm starting to work on that myself. I still have the rage things that come and go, but I mean, it's all stemming from when my mom, when she left me at 10, I just, like, I don't think I'll ever forgive her. I don't know if I can. I'm trying to in my mind. You're like you said, uh, you know, the Bible teaches us to forgive people, but it's like, I don't know if I can, man. It's like all the things I've dealt with all these years, all the after effects of when she did that to me. I just don't know if I'm ever going to be able to get over the whole scenario, that whole thing.
What's helped me work towards forgiving my mom is actually having a relationship with her, talking to her.
Yeah,
I mean, my mom lives in Arizona, and I just found that out here, 2 years ago.
yeah,
Because even though I had communication with her, she still didn't want us to know where she was at.
yeah,
But just ha- having that open line of communication and talking, building that relationship is helping me towards forgiving her. But more and more trust is starting to earn trust back towards her, and
yeah. No, man, I get that completely. Um, I did talk to her for a little bit. Maybe that's all I'll try. I'll give it a shot, man. What the hell? Yeah, I'll give it a shot. Give her a call and talk to her and see if I could start working on bridging the gap again. I know her 60th birthday is coming up this January, and my brothers and them are talking to me about going to see her, and I'm just like, I have the worst feelings about it. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do or what I'm gonna say or anything like that, because it's like, I haven't seen her in, God, what's it been, like 10 years now? I think the last time I saw her was my brother's wedding. Is the last time I actually saw her in person, and I haven't seen her since. I know it's been about 11 years now. Actually, sorry, about 11 years, man. But it was just rough, because I had so much animosity towards her, and I didn't know that's what it was at the time, and I didn't know all that until recently when I started doing therapy. Someone started telling me that's what it was, and they
yep,
said, yeah, I could see that problem you have, and they could notice things that I didn't notice, and then I have depression. So the way that it was explained to me is that one is feeding into the other, basically, which, now I'm in a better place. Now that I'm doing therapy now, I feel like now I can express how I feel, and, things like that. And we're starting to work on me and my mom. So we'll never know, man. We'll see. Maybe get to the place where we start talking on a regular basis again. I mean, she is going to be 60. I might as well do it now before it becomes one of those scenarios where you can't say something to them anymore if you want to call
yep.
them. and stuff like that.
Uh,
It's gonna be
I
rough,
kn-
man. It's gonna be rough,
first
brother.
time, first time I seen my mom. My mom did come back to Missouri, and has once a year since the past 4 years. But the first 21 was the first time I seen my mom, in 20 years.
Yeah,
And when I went to pull into my aunt and uncle's driveway, I couldn't do it
yeah,
because of the anxiety and the resentment and everything. And my ex sat there and told me, it's whatever you want to do.
yeah,
Nobody's pressuring you to see her. And that was a key to me, that it was on me to see her, but it also opened it up. Well, I might not ever have this chance again.
yeah. And that's the thoughts that played through my head too. When I found out they were trying to do something for her 60th birthday, I was like, "Oh man, I'm not gonna lie, bro. It just washed over me." I was just like, But like I said, man, I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna try and see what I can do and try and bridge the gap. And I mean, because at this point, I don't want to be left with that. What if, what if I could have changed things differently? We could have done something, everything like that, and all other stuff too. And and that's great though. She's back, and you guys are rebuilding a relationship and stuff like that, man. That's really awesome. I bet your son's excited. Does your son get to see her too? Like, go to see his grandmother and everything too?
Yeah, once a year.
Oh, that's good though.
That first year, he was with us,
Yeah,
and we introduced him, um, as she was his grandma,
yeah,
and he just kind of looked at us strange, but because he didn't, he was 3 at the time,
yeah,
and he just didn't understand, which is understandable.
yeah,
But we secluded him from her. And looking back on it, it probably wasn't the right thing to do, but it was my way of protecting my son from having that heartache.
yeah. No, I hear you, man, completely.
But now she sends him birthday gifts and Christmas gifts, and at least once a week she talks to him on the phone, and
Oh, that's awesome. She talks to him once a week on the phone. That's even better.
yeah,
That's awesome. At least she's making the effort to try and rebuild that relationship she missed out on all those that time.
yeah.
I mean, that's awesome, man. That's great to hear.
So
That's
and
awesome, man.
it's going both ways. The efforts, she's making an effort and I'm making the effort. So
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's amazing to hear, but I really, really am happy for you on that one. And I'm sure it feels great to have her back around. I know it's probably a little weird at first, but slowly it's getting better.
oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, it's awesome that your son gets talked to every week too. I mean, that's really stand up of her to just try and try and bridge that gap. Though that's awesome. At least he knows if he wants to call her, he can call her, and everything like that. And that's so cool.
And it's how having this open line of communication with her has helped with the past trauma, the PTSD.
Yeah,
Um, and because she knows the situation, she knows the person, and I'm able to talk to her about it.
oh, okay.
And I mean, in my life, there's 4 people that know the actual situation.
Yeah,
My own therapist don't even know the extent of it, and it's I can't open up to what everything.
yeah. No, I hear you. Maybe one day you'll get there and you can, dude. I mean, it's therapy's great though for that. You can talk to somebody with them understanding. And a lot of people, I think, don't realize that. A lot of people, when they hear therapy, they think you're crazy, and it's not, guys. It has nothing to do with being crazy. Sometimes you just need somebody to listen that understands things better than you do. And
Yep.
them identifying PTSD, anxiety, depression, whatever, it makes it easier for them to target that and help you work through those things, or give you the tools to work through it. Because a lot of this stuff you're not going to get rid of. There's no cure for it. It's just how you manage it is better. Like, I have an anxiety journal I use, so in case my anxiety ever gets bad, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's like it'll basically recenter your mind if you ever get in that place where you start feeling overwhelmed. You just whip it out, follow the instructions, and as you get down the pages, it gets you to the second page. You feel so much better afterwards because it refocuses your mind and
No,
stuff like that.
I didn't even know that existed.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll send you the Amazon link. I'll have to find the one that my friend sent me. A friend of mine from my last show I did. She was my co-host. She knows I dealt with a lot of problems and things like that. She was super supportive. She actually sent me one and said, "Here, try this out," and things like that. And so and it's great, man. I didn't even know it existed either until she told me, and stuff like that. Hell, I didn't even know why a lot of things exist until I started through this podcast. Honestly, dude, like my wife educated me a little bit on shadow working, and my last week's guest actually is an international bestseller. It was her second time, but the first time we discussed, she was talking about shadow working in her book and stuff like that. There's so many different ways now to attack the problem, man. Like before, there was just, okay, let's medicate everything, and that's just not the way it works. Like, medication don't fix everything, Like, I'm so glad that it works for some people, but other people turns you into just a mindless zombie, dude. And I know a lot of people's feelings are like that too. It's just like, oh, I'm crazy, so let's send me to the loony bin. Oh no, you want to
No.
know what crazy's like? Go visit one of those. You'll know what it's like. Like, those people are crazy. Like, if you have to be institutionalized, usually that means you are exactly that. You're beyond control. That you need to be under surveillance, kind of thing. And like, it gets that way for some people. Depends what it is. Like schizophrenia. If it gets to a certain extent, it's bad. But like, I'm sure a lot of us have seen A Beautiful Mind. How that works, and things like that. It's just crazy, man. And I feel like, it takes people like you and I to just start spreading the word, and Bree and everybody else who brings this issue up and talks about it. It's still a new thing for a lot of people, I think, because like you were saying, a lot of you were raised and told to do it differently and things like that, and all that kind of stuff. Sure. All right, man. I'm trying to share some of these comments people are saying. Everybody's blowing their comments up here. Guys, I appreciate you all. I really do. I don't know if you can see some of these comments people are posting up on here.
I can see them, but
Yo, don't
I
worry.
can't
You can
read
read them.
them.
You can come
My
back and
eyes
read them later, man. It's all right. I just want to make sure everybody gets a chance to. I'm putting these all up as fast as I can, guys. I appreciate y'all being here supporting Matt. Matt, I appreciate you once again for coming and hopping in the spot when nobody else was available, and stuff like that, man. Like I said, this has been real great. I appreciate it, man. How do you feel? You feel great? I knew you were nervous at first, but I'm sure you seem like you're doing great now.
Yeah, nerves are they're still there, but they've
Yeah, you're
settled.
doing great, man. Like I said, man, that's usually just how it goes for a lot of people, dude. I tell you the same thing. I'll admit to everybody right now. I get nervous right before these things start, man. Like, you never know what you're gonna get in the conversation. I've had people tell me they were dead for 5 minutes on the table. Like, that was my third week person. She was literally telling me that. I was just like, what? What? You didn't say this in your guest sheet. Like, this woman has no stomach, no large colon, 6 feet of it missing of her smaller colon, 16 rounds of chemotherapy, and then comes on and tells me, oh, yeah, I died on the table for about 5 minutes. And I'm like, what?
Oh
And I'm
wow.
live, dude. And I have to sit there and react to this live. I'm like, what? Excuse me? It's like, yeah. Yeah, she was explaining it to us, Matt, and like, it's like you hear these things, dude, and then you're just like, what? I didn't see that coming. So, but that's awesome, man. You want to shout anybody out while you're on here? Because this is going to be seen by everybody. It's being heard by everybody. I didn't tell you though, but we are live on the radio 365 radio for the Oracle Talk Radio Network, who's the reason you even have this show, man. You want to give everybody a shout out, give your son a shout out. Maybe you'll hear this one day. You can say, hey, there's my dad right there.
I just want to thank everybody that's in my life that's been there and supported me, and that's still helping. It means more to me than anybody could ever imagine. Just
I'm sure
seeing or hearing kind words is all that matters to me.
Matt says the same thing, man. He said they're all saying the same thing in the comments, man. They all appreciate you too, brother.
Uh,
Like I said, brother, listen, man, you're here for a reason. That's why you're here, man, to make that change. Like I said, man, your stigma is going to go a long way, and things like that. Amanda wanted to tell you you're awesome, Shawn, and don't forget it. Yes, you are, buddy. You're fantastic, man. I'm so
Thank
like I
you.
said, it was so great I got a chance to talk to you, brother. Like I said, man, you could always hit me up too. I'll give you my hell, I'll give you my personal number. You ever need to call me, brother? I'd definitely talk to you. That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that you're the way everything's going for you, man. Like I said, it's gonna go just do nothing but gain momentum for you.
Yeah, and I'm more than willing to come back on here and
Hey
share my
man,
story again. And
you're more than welcome to come back anytime you want, brother. Let me know. Like I said, I have a whole thing going on. We got a bunch of other stuff on here. I'm always including set. I actually have two more returning guests coming back. So listen, that could be you too, man. The Nap Life says, thank you for sharing your story, Shawn. There you go, brother. You got all these amazing people here that are just here to support you, man. Bree's here, Amanda's here, Matt's here. You got Jimmy in the comments who's been dropping some very great comments. Jimmy, I appreciate all the kind words you're saying. Matt, you too, everybody. In fact, everybody, guys. Like I said, I appreciate y'all being here because without you guys, a lot of this stuff would never even happen. The call for cause, the need for the change for this to end, guys. This whole thing of mental health being shut out and not being talked about isn't happening now. Matt's an example of why it needs to be talked about. Even he agrees. You can save one life, even if it's one life. It's better than saving no one's lives at this point, guys. And I don't think it gets talked about enough. Jimmy says we'll
it,
always be able to call on us, Shawn.
yeah,
Look at them, man.
I
They're all here rallying
appreciate
you
it.
up, brother. They're all rallying you up, brother. Come on now. Give a victory speech to them.
I appreciate each and every one of you all, and I'm here just the same as you are for me. I'm just message me or anything. I'm always here.
That's awesome,
Um,
man.
it doesn't matter if I've met you one time or if I don't even know you. If you need help, reach out, and I will do whatever I can to help you, talk to you. If I need to make a phone call to help you, I will. Um, Life is very short and it's very precious, and I I want to make sure everybody gets the help they need.
That's awesome, man. That really is, guys. And it's the same thing here. You ever need anything, y'all just hit me up. Let me know. You know where to find me. I'm pretty much anywhere. I'm everywhere. I'm like Visa, everywhere you want me to be. We have a new comment in here. It says Critter says, we love you, Shawn. Oh, look, Shawn got another fan there, buddy. Look at him, man. Look at him go. Look at our boy go. He's glowing over here, guys. Look at him go. I think Shawn did fantastic, guys. Like I said, man. Look at this. Everybody else here. All these kind words are coming in just for you, brother. You got all these people supporting you here.
Thank you
So
all.
like I said, man, it's great that you came on today. Like I said, dude, this is awesome. And you're always welcome to come back. Anybody else in the comment section, y'all ever want to do this? Link is in my bio, my TikTok, and oh, it's cuteness mama's critters. By the way, I'm reading it over here in the section here. Bree says she's very proud of you. I'm proud of you too, man. Like I said, it's hard coming on here, sharing your story live with people, because you don't know what people are going to think, and it really doesn't matter. Because basically, what I say to all you is "fuck you." Okay, at least he had the
Yeah,
balls to come on here and share his story. I mean, so for all the other ones that want to sit there and judge him or anything else like that, go ahead. We don't care because he's on my side. I'm on his side. I've got his back. Like
yeah,
Shawn, I really do. Like I said, man, it's great that you came on and things like that. It's great having you. It really was, man. This is the great thing about this podcast. I get to meet all these new people. I get to meet people like yourself, everything else, and it's great and everything like that. And if, like I said, people like you are the reason that I'm pushing so hard on this thing. And it started out as an idea in August, man, and it's gone to like taking a new life on its own, brother.
yeah. There's one more thing I want to
Oh,
say is,
you got plenty of time. You can say whatever you want to say, brother. It's your time. This is the Shawn show.
uh, just know your worth. Know your worth. Know that you are worthy of this life, and just know you're loved.
It's true. So much truth.
Don't let anybody downgrade you. If they do, it's hard to brush off, but brush it off and know that you're better than that.
Yeah. It's all state of mind too, man. Here we go,
Um,
Shawn. Nap Life says, getting to see you and hear your story and everyone's stories gives me the strength to share mine. Nap, if you want to come on, I got a link for you. I will definitely send it to you. It's in my TikTok bio. I could send it to Bree. Bree can give it to you, or she can give you. Like I said, man, if you want to be on the show, guys, reach out to me, Pete versus Anxiety at Gmail. Pete versus Anxiety pod at gmail.com. I will send you back the link to get you the link to my calendar if you need it and everything like that. And you're more than welcome to come on here, Nap. You're more than welcome. Matt says my DMs are always open. Whatever you need to be spoken, I'll either make a joke or try to help you out.
All right.
Look at that, man. Everybody's here to support you, brother. And like I said, man, you want to give everybody your TikTok handle, Shawn, where they can find you, or the other one too, especially the one where you have the stigma on it. A phenomenal one, guys. You have to follow this. If you're not following this other page, you need to go follow this. This man has put out some inspiring words on that page alone.
Country boy _ 0428 or free time fun. Oh boy.
Well, if you need to, Shawn, you give it to me. I'll copy and I'll put it in the link below on this page. I'll add it to the description. That way people can find it and stuff like that and things like that. Normally I'm a little more prepared for these interviews, but we had to kind of do a switch up. And it would normally be running across the bottom of the screen right here on the bottom where to find you and everything like that too.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But for sure, man, we'll get it out there so people can see it. I'll share it and everything. All that good stuff.
That free time fun is a new account, and I can't remember it.
No, man, it's okay though. Like I said though, but it's sending out a powerful message, man. Like it's amazing. It really is, guys. Like I'm gonna go on there and repost some of those videos and make sure to tag them in it so anybody can see it. In case you go to my TikTok, Pete versus Anxiety Pod. You know where to find me. YouTube, Pete versus Anxiety at YouTube. I'm on Twitch, Pete versus Anxiety Pod there as well, guys. We're live on the Oracle Talk Radio Network because without them, this thing wouldn't even be possible. Like that. And in case y'all missed, my podcast prevention link is inside my bio. Y'all can go donate if you like. It's a great cause. I am actually sitting down with the guy that runs the whole thing tomorrow, so I'll have more details after that point and stuff like that. But it's a great cause. Anybody likes W Energy drink could use my discount code Pete versus Anxiety there as well, 10% off. Blah blah blah, all the great stuff. Got to plug everybody. Anyway, Shawn, like I said, man, this has been great. We're getting ready to wrap up here in a minute. Do you have anything else you want to tell people? You're not a Cowboys fan, are you? I don't have to make fun of you.
No, I'm a Chiefs fan.
You're a Chiefs fan? Oh, Bree, take note, Bree. He said Chiefs, Bree. He didn't say 49ers. I'd like to let y'all know that, okay? Let's go Chiefs, baby. We're going for that 3-peat.
Absolutely.
See?
Hopefully the Niners are back in there and we can
crush
shut them out again.
Bree says no. We got Critter said stop. Bree says no. They'll be dogging the boys. Oh, Critter, listen, I could spend a whole hour talking about the Cowboys. Listen,
I've always been a Cowboys fan, but who didn't grow up watching the Cowboys? They're America's team, and
they're not my team, buddy. I'm sorry. I have to make it out now. I, Pete, Great Heroes Now, said the Cowboys are not my team ever. I'm sorry.
Back in the 90s.
Listen, 95 is the last time they won anything, okay? That's why I like to remind them constantly. Like, when was the last time you won something? 95? Okay, it's been back then, though. Bree says Niners all the way. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up this episode of Pete versus Anxiety. Thank you again, Shawn. I do appreciate you coming, brother. Like I said,
you're welcome.
I will definitely give you my information in case you ever need to get a hold of me. Guys, you know where to find me. Pete versus Anxiety Pod and TikTok, Pete versus Anxiety on YouTube. Same thing as Twitch. As always, I will be back at 3 o'clock. My guest will be Bree and hopefully Joel. I wasn't sure if he was going to make it or not. If not, just be me and Bree chatting up. She's going to share her story as well, guys. I do appreciate you all joining me today. Shawn, like I said, Shawn came in and filled in. He was a stand-up guy. He did great. And everybody in the comments said so too, man. They all loved you. So as always, guys, it costs absolutely nothing to be kind to somebody. One kind word you say can save somebody's life or hell, even make somebody's day, guys. This is Pete from Pete for Anxiety signing off here, guys. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see you again at 3 p.m., guys. Shawn, you want to say bye to everybody real quick?
Thank you all for coming and listening to my story. And just like Pete said, just one kind word could save a person's life.
There you go, buddy. All right, guys, we will see you back again at 3 o'clock. Until then, have a great day.